Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, I want to say welcome. Today we'll be reviewing the American Airlines Cadet Academy program. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but very hesitant for a few different reasons. Number one, because my experience is going to be different from everyone else's, and there's so many factors that goes to in a review like this. We'll be talking about housing and instructor and mentorship and the program as a whole, and each of these factors could be different for me and someone else's. I may have a good experience in aircrafts while someone going to a different location might have a very different experience than I did. So I was just very hesitant in making a video like this, because I don't want my review to affect your opinion whether or not you will join the American Airlines Cadet Academy program. But sooner or later, I thought I had to make this video and share all the pros and cons about my experience during the program so you guys know what to expect when you sign up and when you join the program. So like I said, there's gonna be a lot of different categories to cover in this program. We'll be talking about the program as a whole. We'll be talking about mentorship. We'll be talking about the aircrafts. We'll be reviewing the instructors. We'll be reviewing the housing, and we'll be reviewing the overall experience. So like I said, different categories to be rating, and just take my review with a grain of salt. Just because I review something really great or something not so great, just remember my experience is gonna be different from everyone else's. There's a few different locations of American Airlines Cadet Academy program. I went to the location in San Diego in Coast Flight Academy. Before we dive into this review, if you guys are not subscribed yet, go down and hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment if you have any questions regarding the review. Something I did not mention about the review, leave it down below and I'll get back to you. Or you can reach out to me on Instagram at MichaelHSU95. Let's dive right into reviewing the program as a whole. American Airlines Cadet Academy program is great for people who want to fly, who doesn't have any previous experience at all. This gives people an opportunity to fly. So a normal person like me who doesn't know how to begin your flight training but always wanted to be a pilot, this is a great program to join, as it brings you from not knowing how to fly at all, becoming a CFI, CFII, which then gives you an opportunity to get a job and start training other people and build your hours. And once you get your hours, you can go on to the airlines. This program is also affiliated with American Airlines, which means once you get all your hours, 1,500 hours, you have a guaranteed interview with Envoy, one of their regional airlines, which is really great. So being affiliated with American Airlines is definitely also a plus. Like I said, there's no restriction to age limit or knowledge. You know, all you have to do is have a passion for aviation. I've known people that joined the program at 18 years old, just finished high school, wanted to start flight training right away. And I know people as old as like 36, 37, who already has a family, but never gotten around to flight training, and now they have this opportunity to flight train. So this is definitely a great program. It's also very fast paced, so it brings you not knowing how to fly all the way to being able to get a job as CFI in just 1 year, which is very fast. And as all of you guys know, flight training is very expensive. It costs around $100,000 to get all your license and certificate. And I'm not sure about you, but I don't have $100,000 just laying around ready to be spent on flight training. So being in this program allows you to get a loan to pay for all your flight training, to get all your licenses, get your private pilot, instrument, commercial, CFI, CFII, and multi, and even for time building. So being in this program just gives you that loan. There's obviously gonna be interest rate and you have to be paying that back. So overall, I think this is a great program. It is for everyone and no age restriction. You don't need to have previous knowledge. It's affiliated with American Airlines. It's fast paced, and by the end of it, you'll be able to get a job. And once you get all your hours, you can get an interview with one of the regional airlines at American Airlines. So that's definitely a great thing. I think this program is great. However, let's talk about some of the downside. Since this is a really great program, you know it's gonna be very competitive. I remember before COVID, they're saying they're getting thousands of applications every month. So the chances of you getting in the program might be slim, but here's one tip to get noticed. by applying is to be proactive, not just send in your application and resume, but be sure to email them and follow up and let them know that you are very interested, you're on top of it. That signals to them, they're like, hey, we get a lot of applications, but this guy's standing out because he keeps on following up because he's proactive. Getting in is very hard, but once you're in the program, it's definitely a really great program to be in to get all your flight training done. Another downside might be in this program is that, like I said, you are able to get a $100,000 loan, which is great to pay for all your flight training. But you also have to know that there's gonna be an interest rate. If you don't wanna be in debt by the end of your flight training, this might not be the route you want to take. However, I also said once you're done with the training, you are also able to find a job, which then you can pay off your loan. But those are pretty much the two downsides I have. You have a loan at the end of it with interest, which might hurt a lot if you have a family and you got to provide for them. But like I said, if you can handle that loan, it's great and it's very competitive. So if you're able to find a way into the program, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great idea. If you don't have any previous knowledge, no aviation background, you're just someone who always wanted to dream of flying and becoming a pilot, and this gives you a loan and you're affiliated with American Airlines. This is a great program, and for this category alone, just the program as a whole, I'm gonna give this 9 out of 10. Not bad. Next category we're gonna be talking about is mentorship. What's really great about this program as well is once you join, they pair you with a mentor, someone that's already in American Airlines and that they can mentor you. If you have any questions at all with flight training, you can ask them, you can get to know about the airlines. If you have any questions about airlines or if you want to go regional or someone just with a lot of experience. So they pair you with someone with a lot of experience. So like I said, if you have any questions, you can go and ask them. You know, flight training is gonna be very tough and difficult, right? So that when you're struggling in like instrument, let's say, you can have someone to talk to who's been through all that struggle. But that is just in theory, right? In theory, having a mentor sounds great. Having someone there to talk with, someone to bounce your thoughts, your challenges, to celebrate whenever you pass a check, right? All of that sounds great. However, in reality, for me, this is my personal experience. Keep that in mind. My mentor was, let's say, not the most active, okay? Let's put it that way. For my whole year being in the program, we probably emailed each other 3 times. He was there when I, first joined the program. He said, welcome to the program. If you have any questions, I'm always here, feel free to reach out. I'm not sure if it's my job to always reach out to him or him reaching out to me, but we've only exchanged 3 emails in the whole time I was in the program. So like I said, in theory, having a mentor is great, but I rarely talk to my mentor. We never talked over the phone. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know what he sounds like. We've just exchanged 3 emails. And not having a mentor is not the biggest deal in the world, but you're supposed to be paired with a mentor, and every month American Airlines will email you and ask how many hours you spent with your mentor, and I always have to put 0 because we barely talked. So in that category of mentorship, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10. Like I said, that was just my experience. I know a few other people's had great relationships with their mentor. My housemate, he hung out with his mentor quite a bit. His mentor even bought them lunch, which was awesome. And they actually got to meet them, talk to them. Another friend of mine that was in the program, he met up with his mentor a bunch of times. He owned an airplane and even brought him flying. So that's really fun. So if you get a good mentor, it can be really fun, exciting. You can learn a lot, ask questions. But if you're like me, and you get a mentor that's just there to put on their resume and they are not really active and participating in your aviation career, then it doesn't really make a difference if you have a mentor or not. So I hope all of you guys have a mentor that is exciting and fun and active in your flight training and not like mine. But that's why in this category of mentorship, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 10. Let's go ahead and talk about aircraft. What kind of aircraft do we fly in the American Airlines Cadet Academy program? For me, I was in the San Diego location at Coast Flight Training, and we flew really nice planes. We flew Piper Archer 3 with G1000. They were probably, 2 years old when I got there. I actually made a video about the aircraft we flew in the American Airlines Cadet Academy program. So if you guys haven't watched that video, be sure to click that link up here and watch it. Don't forget to like it. Don't skip the ads. But like I said, overall, most of the training we did was great airplanes. We had amazing airplanes. We had 2-year-old airplanes with G1000s. We had a whole fleet of them. We probably had 8 or 9 G1000 Piper Archers. So that's really great. However, once you finish all your single engine work and you go on to flying multi-engine airplanes, that's where some of the downsides occur, all right? At first, in the coast location, we had 2 Technums. So that's not very many multi-engine airplanes. So if you think about it, if you have 2 airplanes and one of them breaks and you have all these students waiting on one airplane, you're not gonna get scheduled to fly a lot. And that's actually what happened in the San Diego location. Not just one broke, but at many times, 2 of them were down at the same time. So once you finish your single engine work, you had to go on the multi-engine. However, you had 2 aircrafts and all of them were down. That's delayed a lot of people's schedule. They had to wait a couple weeks just to fly the multi-engine. And every time the multi-engine was up, something would happen and it'd be down again. And so your training was not consistent. You probably fly 1 week and the multi-engine was down and they have to wait another week, get it fixed, and come back, you know? So that's one of the downsides. There's only 2. So if one of them breaks, everyone's gonna be waiting for that one plane and you won't be scheduled as much. They seem to break pretty often, to be honest. So I did not do my multi-training there, so I can't say how the training was for multi-engine. They just had 2 airplanes and it broke a lot. So that's something to consider if you want to do your multi-engine at coast or not in the San Diego location, if you want to wait for 1 week, 2 week if the aircraft's broke. But overall, I'm gonna have to give the aircraft's category an 8 out of 10. Like I said, a lot of great things with their Piper Archer fleet, 8 or 9 of them, all G1000, 2 years old, so not a lot of problem, really easy to fly, great airplanes. But the reason why I didn't give it 10 and the reason why I docked the 2 points, it comes from the multi-engines, all right? They were just down all the time and you just had to wait a long time to get scheduled. And once you got scheduled, you had to wait for check rides. Once you're ready for a check ride, the airplane's broken, you gotta wait another week. You don't fly for a week, you're not fresh anymore, you're kind of rusty, and going in your check ride, you're not gonna be fresh. So that's the reason why I docked at 2 points. Next off, we're gonna talk about instructors. Instructors, like I said, this is all from my experience, and overall, I had great experience with all the instructors at Coast from American Airlines Cadet Academy program. I probably flown with 8 or 9 different instructors, and I gotta say, I absolutely love all of the instructors I've flown with. You typically stay with one instructor throughout all your training, but you would also fly with different instructors sometimes. If your primary instructor is gone for a holiday or for a break or a long weekend, that's when they're gonna fill you in with a different instructor. You also fly with different instructors whenever there is a stage check. So to check how you're progressing, that's when you're gonna fly with a different instructor. And like I said, all the instructors I've flown with have been super helpful, very nice, very kind. I love all the instructors I've flown with. I think they're great, very professional, and very helpful. They want to help you succeed. However, I've heard of other people's experience being not so great. I've had friends who had instructors that were just scared of letting them fly, that wouldn't really give the students the control of the airplanes. They would always be hovering over the controls. If something goes wrong or a little bit of turbulence, they take over the controls, wouldn't let them land the airplane. I've heard of many cases like that, and because of that, the students wouldn't be able to fly as much and they wouldn't be prepared to go on a check ride. And you see, you're taking out a loan to get training, however, your instructor is not letting you fly, and it's gonna take you more flights to get ready for a check ride because your instructor is not letting you fly as much. That's also another thing to think about. If you guys don't like your instructor right off the bat, I would highly suggest right away, talk to management, talk to someone to let them know, hey, me and my instructor aren't really getting along well. Is there any way I can switch to another instructor? You're paying for flight training, remember that. If you don't like the instructor right away, you want to be quick and switch instructors. people would understand you're not gonna get along with every single one out there. We're humans, there's people we like, there's people we don't like. And if you don't get along with your instructor, go ahead immediately, find help, and ask me to switch instructors. With that being said, I personally loved all the instructors I've flown with. They're all really good, really helpful. So in this category, I'm gonna give it an 8. All right, after instructor, let's talk about housing. Housing. I love the housing I stayed at as well. Great housing. I also made a video about the housing experience and where I stayed during my time at the American Airlines Cadet Academy program. For me, in San Diego location, like I said, we have 1 apartment, 2 rooms, 4 people in that apartment. So you're gonna have a roommate. It's gonna 2 and 2 in each room. Housing facility was great. We had a swimming pool, we had a gym, we had a barbecue area, we had study rooms, we had a game room. So a lot of facilities. However, I was there in the peak of pandemic, the peak of COVID-19. So you can bet most of the time I was in the housing, I barely even got to use all the facilities. All of it was closed. I was there for a year and probably only got to use 3 months out of the whole year I was there. So not the best, but overall, I really liked it. Like I said, the housing, facilities, we had gym, study room, break room, game room, barbecue, grill, everything was so nice. But my experience, I didn't get to use all of it. So for this, I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10, which is not bad at all. And just keep in mind as well, that's just my experience. That's just where I stayed in the San Diego location. If you go to Florida location, Texas, you might have a different housing situation. It might be way better than mine. It might not be better than mine, but just keep that in mind. Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, all right? Let me boost up the ISO. It's getting a little dark here. There we go. All right, so those are pretty much all the categories we covered. We talked about the program as a whole, talked about mentorship, aircrafts, instructor, housing, and now I'm just gonna talk about my overall experience, okay? Overall, I had a great experience. I joined with my PPL. So you can either join having no experience at all or joining already having your private pilot license. However, they won't take anyone with more experience than that. So if you already have your instrument rating or you already have your commercial and want to do CFI, CFII, they won't take people in with that much knowledge. So go in with your PPL or no experience at all. So I went in with my private pilot license and I got all my training done in a little bit less than a year. Like I said, my housemates were really great. The housing was great. The aircrafts I was flying was really great. Instructor was great. Everything was really great. So overall, had a great experience except for one thing, all right? Except for one thing. This is a bit of a funny topic. A little tricky thing to talk about. But like I said, overall my experience is really great, but I feel like in some cases I didn't get everything I was promised. Because on the American Airlines Cadet Academy program, it says fixed costs, you're guaranteed all your certificate and licenses. So that includes, you know, your PPL, instrument, commercial, CFI, CFII, multi, and your time building, okay? These 7 things. That's what it says, fixed cost on the website. Fixed cost, all right? That means one price, you get all. So I'm finishing up my training, finished CFII, or they actually pulled me aside and said, hey, you're finishing up CFI, you still have CFII and your multi-training, but you don't really have enough money. So you can either choose your CFII or your multi. And I was like, what? I thought it's a fixed cost. I'm supposed to get all of my training, right? In this one price. That's what fixed cost means, right? They're like, yeah, it's fixed cost to a certain extent. So not a fixed cost. So I was not able to get my multi-training at Coast, at the American Airlines Cadet Academy program, because they said I ran out of money. So that's one thing to be cautious about. Make sure before you sign anything, make sure you get what you're promised, you get what is advertised, all right? So that's the one thing I would say that wasn't the best experience for me. I didn't get everything I was promised. I didn't do my multi-training and program because they said I didn't have enough money, even though it said fixed cost. That's why I went somewhere else to do my training. But overall, I had a great experience. Flying in San Diego is very complicated with the airspace. There's so much traffic, so definitely makes you a better pilot. Had a fun time bonding with my fellow cadets, you know, studying together, working through it. Check rides are challenging. But like I said, if you have no experience and you want to become a pilot and fly, this is the program to join. I still highly recommend everyone to join the program if you are able to. If you want to fly, this is the program to join. I cannot recommend it enough because it gives you a loan, because you're affiliated with American Airlines, because they fly great airplanes, because they're very fast paced. The faster you get through all your training, the more money you're gonna save. So overall, even though I had some not the best experience, overall I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I cannot recommend the American Airlines Cadet Academy program enough. So this is the program to join. Don't forget to be proactive when you're applying for the program. I think that's definitely something that helped me stand out whenever they had a meeting. I went to it before I even joined the program, so they knew, okay, this guy's serious, he wants to join. Once you apply, send them follow-up emails, bug them, bother them, all right? They wanna help you, so make them see that you really want it. That's the last advice I can give you. And that's gonna be it for the American Airlines Cadet Academy program review. If you guys like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. I love reading comments, all right? Say something nice, I really appreciate it. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram. And like I said, if you guys have not checked out the video of me talking about the aircraft we fly, be sure to click over here. And I also made another video talking about the housing we stayed in, and that's gonna be over here. Don't forget to subscribe and leave in comments below. Tell me what video you wanna see next. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.